New Yorkers saying this, so I'm going to say it. Aaron Boone deserves a boatload of credit for what he's done with this Yankees team this year. They very easily could have mailed it in, but instead, they're at the top of the AL East, 32-17. For the most part, without Aaron Judge, without Giancarlo Stanton, without Didi Gregorius, without Luis Severino, without Miguel Andujar, without most of their starting roster, really, when you think about it. James Paxton hasn't pitched in weeks. It's unreal what they've been able to do this year. The Twins just continue to roll. 16 more runs yesterday in LA against the Angels. 8 home runs. They tied a franchise record for home runs in a game. Miguel Sano is back. He hit 2 of them. Jorge Polanco just continues to be one of the best hitters in the game. He hit another one. Jonathan Schoop, who interestingly enough, that signing isn't getting enough credit or enough attention, but this is a second baseman who was an all-star. He's still young. He had a rough year last year, and Minnesota brought him in. He's hitting towards the bottom of the lineup, and, he looks really good. This is a guy who can be an all-star. He hit 2. Max Kepler, Eddie Rosario hit 1 each. CJ Cron went 5 for 6. And he hit a bomb. The funny part is that they're still putting up runs in bunches without Garver, without one of the best hitting catchers in the sport in the lineup. He's going to be out for another couple weeks. They're getting contributions from everywhere. You can't say enough about this Twins team, particularly their lineup. The Cleveland Indians had better wake up over there. They finally have company in the AL Central. Something that, a team is finally stepping up to the plate in that division, and it's the Minnesota Twins. This is not 2018. 2019 brings new surprises. The Indians probably thought that they were going to cruise again this season. Not quite the case. Moving on to the NBA postseason. The Toronto Raptors, led by a Kawhi Leonard, who has been on and off hobbled by an injury, came back to win Game 5 on the road and have won 3 straight games over the favored number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I know, you know what they say. The series doesn't start until the home team loses. So that last night was a huge game. A huge win for the Toronto Raptors franchise. There have been times throughout this series where you watch the Bucks and say, that's an experience. That is an experience. Young Bucks trying to do too much. Simply. Kawhi Leonard continues to make his case. And the thing is he's not the kind of guy who's going to say it. He's not going to say, I'm the greatest player on the planet. He doesn't have that kind of personality. He's not all that outgoing. He's just the kind of guy who works on his game every day and focuses on winning the next game. He dropped 35, 9, and 7. 39 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. Oh, and this kid Van Vliet. You know how they say that, role players don't tend to play as well on the road? The role players don't play as well on the road? Somebody needs to tell Van Vliet that. Because he was just on fire last night. Putting up 21 points. He hit 7 3-pointers. 7 of them. Absolutely stunning for a lot of people, really all around, who thought this series was over after the Bucks took the first few. Figured that the Bucks were the kind of team who was too deep. They had 9, 10 guys they can use, good players, and thinking, okay, Toronto might have the better starting 5. They have a good 5 or 6, but the Bucks are too big, too lean, they're too tall, they're too athletic. And then you have Giannis, who looks pretty much unstoppable in the paint. Thinking that was just going to be a little bit too much for Toronto. Plus, home court advantage. Just no way Toronto was going to win the series. Well, don't count out Kawhi Leonard, who I've always said was just a little overlooked because of the lack of headlines, lack of personality. But he is heart. He is will. And he's worked his way to the top. He's elite on both ends of the floor. Kyle Lowry has also played the series of his life. He's been excellent. I feel like every time Lowry puts up a 3, it's good. Every time in this series. He's the kind of guy who he has struggled in the past, in the postseason for the Toronto Raptors. He looks more confident than he ever has in the postseason, and that's important for this team moving forward. Now, do I think either of these two teams have a real chance of beating the Golden State Warriors? No. I'm tired of thinking that, this team's going to beat them, this team's going to beat them, the Houston, the Blazers, they look really good. I don't even think it matters, to be honest with you. The Warriors have proven, they've shown, game in and game out, why they are champions. I won't believe it until I see it. I thought the Blazers would be better against Golden State, and then they got swept. Don't even get me started about Damian Lillard today and the way he's played in the last 2 series. Because really, ever since that shot that ended the Thunder series, the lights have been out. In the series against Denver, CJ McCollum was their best player. Damian Lillard was nowhere to be found. And then that series against Golden State where you think, okay, without Kevin Durant, you have Lillard and you have McCollum. You have good role players. You have guys like Enes Kanter and Zach Collins and Mo Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu and Seth Curry. You're thinking against, Golden State with, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. You're thinking to yourself, okay, obviously the Warriors have the experience advantage, but the Blazers can match up with them. Apparently not. But I'm enjoying the fight in the East. It's two MVP caliber players going head to head. And let me just tell you this. It's tough for me to call Giannis the best, because a lot of people are saying Giannis is the best player in the NBA. I can't do it. He doesn't shoot well enough on a consistent enough basis. He just doesn't. I'm thinking, is he better than LeBron James? No. Is he better than Kawhi Leonard? I don't think so. Is he better than Kevin Durant? No. Is he better than Steph Curry? I mean, Steph Curry, he gets a lot of heat. Not even just heat, but people question his game because they just see him as a shooter. Steph Curry can do more than just shoot. He's got great handles, too. And he's also played in a lot of big games. I see Giannis and I see James Harden as two guys who need to prove themselves. I just do. Coach Nick Nurse and Kawhi Leonard. This is something that has been overlooked and has been undervalued. Nick Nurse and Kawhi Leonard came in and took an organization that was known as chokers. A fan base. I mean, the past couple of years have been just postseason failures for the Toronto Raptors. After getting swept last year by LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. For Nick Nurse and Kawhi Leonard to come in and turn this around completely. A fan base that was desperate for something positive in the postseason, making them believe again. Drake is red hot. I don't care what's going on. I like what he's doing. If Budenholzer doesn't like that, you know what? Beat him. Beat the Raptors. That's the only way to shut Drake up. And you know what? I would do that with my team too. Super fan. Be that guy. Do whatever you want. He's having fun. The Raptors are winning. Good for him, good for them. Now, they have a shot to finish this series off at home. They get a golden opportunity and head to the NBA Finals, because I don't believe that they're going to go back to Milwaukee and beat them again. I don't. Game 6 is their Game 7. They need to win this game at home to head to the NBA Finals. It's go time. This is what it's all about. This is what you want to see in a postseason. You want to see two teams that are relatively evenly matched going head to head with, the underdogs having a chance to beat the top team, in the conference to get to the NBA Finals. A potential Game 7 for Milwaukee. That is fun. That's what sports is about, and I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to thank, that'll do it for me. I'd like to thank everyone for listening, all those in the chat room. And I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend. And I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Stay good looking.